So I'm thinking about this idea of belonging and that feeling that you feel when you go somewhere and it just doesn't feel quite right, or you feel self-conscious, or you just feel like an outsider. And the more and more I'm spending time looking at racial injustice, looking at just racism in general, and the way that we overtly and subvertly, or covertly, me and my words, the ways that we express, oppress, ways that are obvious. The belonging keeps coming up to me because I've always belonged. I've never had to think about not belonging. From the moment that I'm born, um, it was just a given, I guess, with my mom that she was going to get good care. From the moment that I was born, everything, race was never an issue. I didn't get less than services. I didn't have to go to a certain hospital. Even I had read this somewhere, and it was like, even the books about birth and stuff are all geared towards white people. It's just like a white world, a white country. And as someone who is white, that has always looked through this lens, this white racial lens, it was just the norm. But when you take yourself out of that lens, you realize that is not the norm. There's a whole other community of people, of Americans. We're not even talking to even begin to talk about people who come here to be here and live here, who are of different cultures, but we're talking about Black Americans or Native Americans, where they are the fabric of this country too, and yet we have always put them on the outside. Even saying things, well, they get to have this, or we gave them affirmative action. Well, we should have never had to have come to that, where it should have ever been like that. Well, we give them Black History Month. Ooh, even thinking about education and how everything that we read was geared, was about white people and just white being the norm. And although we never said white superiority, when you live in a place where everything is one way and then you have spatters of something else, it seems like that is not the norm. So I've never had to think about it. I've never had to look at it. I've never had to think that this is not where I belong. And I'm a big traveler, so I know what it feels like when you go somewhere else and you feel like that outsider and you're just trying to adapt. Well, from more and more what I hear, that's what our Black brothers and sisters do. They're trying to adapt to our white culture in their own country, a country which I'll say that they built. Take that in. A country that they built with their hands and with their blood, sweat, and tears, to not only feel like an outsider, but to then not be able to reap the benefits in an equal way as we do. And I know that there are people who don't believe that. And I will say, and I'll just keep saying, this isn't something I've always spoken about. It's something that I'm open to learning, and so that's what I chose to do. And so I just really encourage anyone that's watching this that may doubt this or think, I don't know, to just, again, go spend some time with it, not with your feelings and your emotions around it, but just with facts around it. So that's it, this belonging. In what ways has my life been made easier? From a racial standpoint, but from a racial standpoint, what areas of my life have I just belonged just because I show up? That's it.